What does don't half-ass it mean to you?
If you're going to do it, do it. Say what you can do. Do what you say. If you can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over-leverage yourself. Don't over-leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe. I think I'll try it out. No, think if you're going to try it out beforehand, but when it's time to go, dive. Finish it. Find out. Come out the other side. Don't leave it and go, ooh, if I just would have. That keeps me up at night. I think it keeps a lot of us up at night. When you half-ass something, you just don't know. Whether you failed or succeeded, got what you want or didn't get what you want. Finding out and looking in the mirror and going, I didn't half-ass it. I went all the way. I found out, and that ain't for me. Or I found out, and you damn right that is for me. That's a great place to get to. But the limbo of not knowing, if you half-ass something, the limbo of going, I hedged my bet.
What could have happened?
You don't know.
Were you surprised when your dad said that to you?
Yeah.
When you were going to take a pivot in life trajectory?
I wouldn't have been in the top 100 things I thought he would have said. I was fully stabilizing in that moment. As I said, I called Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. He'll have had a beer. He's already had dinner. Not Monday, because that's the first day of the work week. He'll be a little more stressed. Catch him Tuesday when I unload this that I don't want to go to law school, I want to go to film school. And I really thought he was going to go, you want to do what? Again, the family I grew up in, the idea of me thinking that the idea of going into film, very Saturday idea, a hobby idea, not a job. And when I shared it with him, the pause that he took, another bead of sweat started on my back of my neck before he goes, well, don't half-ass it. Now, I will say this, though. I do know now, and I didn't know it then, and I've realized it in the last 10 years, the way that I asked him is part of the reason he gave me that answer. I really wasn't asking him. I called him and said, Dad, what do you got, monkey man? He said, I don't want to go to law school anymore. I want to go to film school. I didn't go, I'm not sure about law school. I think I think I may want to go to, if I'd have stuttered into that, I think he would have, again, heard me half-assing what I wanted and gone.
In the process of being told to not half-ass it, you didn't half-ass it.
The way I asked. He asked, and he heard my own conviction. And I think what he had in that moment was what I think every parent wants to hope to have with their kids, is that, we raise our kids to go in a structured form. Follow this and you can get most of what you want in life. And that can work. But what do we really want our kids to do? We want them to follow that and then bust out of it one day and not even ask our permission. And that's when we're going, that's my boy, that's my girl, that's my child. We wanted to break out. And I think what he heard then was I was breaking out without really asking his permission. And I was clear. I spoke up, didn't stutter. My voice was out of my throat a little bit. And I think that was part of why in that moment he gave me the answer, don't half-ass it.
Do you think that sentiment carried forward into how you got the role for Dazed and Confused? That I'm going to continue to lean in, I'm on the front foot, I'm 10 toes down?
Yes. Now, how much that direct sentiment from that night when he told me don't half-ass it had to do with that? Yeah, it did have something to do with it. Look, when he said don't half-ass it, he was, and I talk about this in the book, he wasn't only giving me permission, he was giving me a responsibility. He was going, I knew I had his word with me in my future decisions. I was making it for more than myself. I wanted to fail less because I didn't want to embarrass him. And that was extra motivation, extra strength, extra courage, extra sobriety, extra well, let's find out. Go for it, man. Go for it. It carried on into other stories of other jobs. Time to Kill with Joel Schumacher going, I want the lead. That's me going, I want to find out. And Dad told me not to half-ass it back there a few years ago, So if I don't go for it, if I embarrass myself, I'm embarrassing him. So that was also some incentive and some weight behind those moves that I made, some of them.
Are you a brave person in that way, do you think?
I don't know. People say that I don't think I take enough risk. I'm told that people whose opinion I admire think that that's my greatest asset, that I take the risk I'll take. and the bravery, I'll take it.
And you still have a hunger for more.
I think still chicken shit. I mean, not overall, but I think there's many things that I'm not fully assing. I think there's many things that I'm still could take further, that there's still many things that more risk I could take and more bravery I could have. Yeah.
Can you tell that story, the Dazed and Confused story of leaning in, of taking that risk?
Yeah, so, I mean, the initial one started when I went to, on a Thursday night, went to my favorite bar at the top of the Hyatt, because I knew the bartender, he was at film school with me, he'd give me free vodka and tonic, so I went there. I get there that night, he brings me and my girlfriend vodka and tonic, tells me, hey, there's a guy at the end of the bar producing a movie, let me introduce you to him. I walk over, introduce him to him. 4 hours later, that man, Don Phillips, legendary casting director, who was actually a producer on Dazed and Confused, we get kicked out of that bar. I've had as many vodka and tonics as he had since I sat down, so I'm not leaving easily either. And I'm standing up for my new friend, who we hadn't done anything to get kicked out of the bar, and we really hadn't. We were just kind of standing on top of the tables, imitating some golf shots we had played on similar courses in the past. So we get not so politely escorted out, and he's in a cab, or we're in a cab. He's riding with me to my apartment, gonna drop me off before he heads back to his hotel. He pulls out a joint, or I pulled out a joint, start smoking. He goes, hey, you ever done any acting? And I said, man, I was in a, Trisha Yearwood video for a second, kind of more of a modeling job. I was in a Miller Lite commercial for about that long. I go, I don't know if you call that acting. He goes, well, you might come to this address tomorrow morning, 9:30. You might be right for this part. It's this character called Wooderson in this movie, Dazed and Confused. I think you might be right for the part. Now, this is 3-something in the morning, so 9:30 came really quickly, and I was on time probably 5 minutes early. And we were already pretty tuned at this time. Now, mind you, I get there, I walk in, they go, Matthew? I go, yes. They go, Don left the script for you. I open it up, it's signed by him. Hey, here's the part, Wooderson. I got 3 scenes in there, 3 lines. They're all marked. Check them out. I think you might be right for it. Good luck. Let me know. We'll call you in for an audition. I go away. I go look at these 3 lines. One of them was what I like to call these days a launch pad line, which is a line that sometimes they'll have in a script where if that character means that line, and that character's not playing that line as an attitude or a wink or a joke, if that character means that line, you could write a book on it. You could write a book based on that reality. And that line in Dazed and Confused from the character Wooderson was a line when he's leaning against the wall outside the pool hall. High school girls walk by, and he checks one of them's backside as they go by, and his buddy says, Wooderson, you gotta cut that out, man. You're gonna end up in jail. And Wooderson says, no, man. That's what I love about those high school girls, man. I get older, they say the same age. That line, I went, who is that? There's a book on somebody. If that's not trying to be cute, if that guy's not trying to say something coy and clever, if he believes I've got life figured out, man, this is my North Star. So that line informed who the character was. I go, I read for it. I remember the first time I got called back because they said the sound was bad. And now looking back, I don't know if the sound was bad or the fact that I just needed to come back. It was an excuse to come back and read for Richard Linklater, the director, who I did read for, and I got the part. Now, the role was also based on, as I wrote about in the book, who I thought my brother was when I was 11. My 17-year-old brother was already my hero. He was cooler than James Dean. And we had one day where his car was broke down, and my mom, when I was supposed to pick him up from school, and he wasn't where he was supposed to be. We're looking for him. I'm looking at the back of our station wagon, and there I see this silhouette of this guy leaning against a brick wall, left boot heel against the brick wall, leaning back, lazy cig in the right hand, smoking, and it was my brother. And in that silhouette, he was 13 feet tall, coolest dude in the world, and just as I went to go, wait, there's Pat! I remembered I was going to get big trouble for smoking, so I won't say it's him. My mom goes, who? I go, nothing. But that image in my 11-year-old eyes, that was Wooderson. So we get to the set one night, and I just go in for what's supposed to be a makeup wardrobe test, meaning put on makeup, put on wardrobe. When the director Linklater can leave the set and gets a minute, he comes, checks you out, eyeballs, gives a few notes, and you say goodbye. I'll see you when I come back for work. Well, on this night, I come out of the trailer. Linklater shows up, has a look as he's walking up, his hands go out, he's just going, yeah, Wooderson. It's like peach pants. Is that a nudes t-shirt? Ah, I like that. What's that over there? That tattoo? That's a Black Panther tattoo. Yeah. Look at the hair, the comb over. I like it.